Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is episode 2 of our Hearthstone free-to-play series. I have gone through the cheapest decks I could find. Cheapest competitive decks, I guess I should add, because I went to Hearthstone Top Deck and checked out the decks that had done fairly well in tournaments or that had been used by professional players in tournaments. And I've come up with essentially 4 decks that I want to go through today. And we're going to go start with the most expensive one, which I thought was going to be fairly cheap when I looked at it, but it actually turned out to be a little expensive, and you're going to find out why. Because of Naxx. This deck requires that you go fairly deep into Naxx to get a Zombie Chow. A Zombie Chow is in the last tier, which means you have to go, is it last tier or 4th tier? I'm not sure. 2800 dust to unlock that much of Naxx as a free-to-play player. 2,800 dust. Do you know how long that would take as a free-to-play player to unlock that much of Naxx? I don't even want to figure it out. It's got to be astronomical. 3 months? 2 months? Something like that. Incredible amount of time. Let's look at this deck. We've got 400 in epic cost, 400 in rare cost, 280 in common cost for a grand total of 3880. Yeah, somewhere along the way you're gonna get some of these cards just out of packs that you buy or packs that you win from daily quests and that sort of thing. But the gold cost on this is prohibitive. The deck looks fairly good. I've played a deck like this. It was more of a control druid, which is what I was playing in the last season. Ramp druid, really. This deck is not quite like that, but I could see it being okay. It's very mid-rangey, but 3880, I just can't justify that at this point. Let's go to deck number 2, and this is the deck that I thought was going to be the cheapest because, you know, having bought Naxx myself, I didn't even consider the gold costs of Naxx when looking at this deck. This is Face Hunter, 3920. I guess this is even more expensive than the Druid. I didn't realize that. 2800 in Naxx. There's no epics, but the rares in this deck are 600. The commons alone to craft are 520. 3,920 dust for this. This is Face Hunter, one of the noobiest decks you can play, and it costs 3920 as a free-to-play player. Insane. Insane. How long is that going to take? We're not going to be doing it. Number 3, Zulok, coming in at 2920. I believe this is the cheapest. Let me just pull up my... Yeah, okay. This is the cheapest of the 4 decks that I looked at. You don't have to go as deep into Naxx is why this deck is so much cheaper. There's no epic cards. The rare cards in this do cost 1,000, which is pretty big. 520 on the commons. This is not the most current form of Zoo. This is a, I would say, lesser form of Zoo. I don't know. I've seen a way different version of this on the ladder recently. I mean, yeah, it's somewhat common. The intro of the Imp Gang boss into this has been kind of the major change since the Blackrock has come out. But other than that, it's pretty plain old Zoo with some different changes here and there. The reason you got to go into Naxx is for Loatheb and Haunted Creeper and Nerubian Egg, but it's not very deep. It's only 2 levels, as opposed to 4 with the other ones. So this was a good one, and it certainly was a front runner as far as my concerns went. But we're not going to play this one either. In fact, what we were going to play is what I wanted to play to begin with: Shaman. This deck is a mid-range Shaman. 2 levels of Naxx as well, so 1400 dust there. It has 1 epic card, which is the Doomhammer, and it has 600 dust worth of rare cards and 720 worth of common cards. This is a mech Shaman. Even though it's considered a mid-range, it's a mech. I imagine that this deck plays fairly fast. Strange that you don't see Bloodlust in this deck, because there should be a fair board presence. You would think Bloodlust would be kind of a no-brainer in this one. 3120 versus Zoo's 2920. I think because I want to play Shaman, we're going to go for this deck. This will be the one we're going to play. I have, I think, 1 or 2 pieces of this already. Maybe just 1. But we'll have to get crafting, and we'll see what we can do with it. Okay, we are in game now, and I'm going to go check out what we have to get this deck started. Unfortunately, it's not going to be very much. I got the Shaman up to level 10 just so we have all the basic cards. And I got the list in front of me here, so I'm going to go down the list and just add in what we have so far. This is going to be sparse, folks. Just bear with me. Let's see. What else from the Shaman list? Lightning Bolt. Do we have any of that? We don't have any Lightning Bolt. Rockbiter Weapon. We got those. Crackle, no. Lava Burst, no. Okay. And what else can we get? Flame Tongue Totem we've got in already. Okay, I know we have one of these neutral minions at least. Annoyatron, we've got 1, we need 2. And Piloted Shredder, we've got 1, we need 2. And that is it. We have we have 6 cards from this 30 card deck that we need to build. So we have to go in to do some crafting. And this might be a little bit sick to watch, guys, because I'm just going to start disenchanting cards for basically nothing. Anything we don't need, we're going to get rid of. We're going to get a quest here, I think, anyway, for disenchanting our first card. We got 95 dust, which is going to help a lot. Cult Master, is that in the list? It's not. Let's get rid of it. Let's see. Any Shaman cards that aren't in our list? You know, I don't really want to do that because I may end up switching to a different version of Shaman later on. Target Dummy is not in the list. Get out of here. 20 dust. Wow, great. Clockwork Gnome is not in the list. Let's get rid of him. Worgen Infiltrator would have been a good card for Face Hunter, but we're not doing it. Noyatron we've got already. Micro Machine I don't believe is in the list here. Let me just check. Nope. Twilight Drake, not in the list. Antique Healbot, I don't believe is. Nope, so we'll get rid of him. We do have 1 golden card in here, which is going to be very helpful. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave the Shaman cards alone. Let's get out of here, and we'll go DC the rest of what we've got. Glaive Zuka is done. This is going to be a bit tedious, guys, so I'm just going to speed up through this process. Okay, we are back. I've burnt all the cards in my set that I could, that are not going to be used in the deck. I thought we got a golden common, but I must have been mistaken. It must have been on my other accounts that that happened. So we didn't have a golden common disenchant. We have 330 dust. I think as far as sort of maximizing our bang for our buck, I wonder if we don't go for the rares first. Because as we gather gold and buy new packs, it's more likely we're going to get the commons in any event. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I guess the ones that we need are Power Mace, Lava Burst, and 2 Azure Drakes. Unless we save for Doomhammer, but I think, you know, another 70. I don't think that's too worth it at this point. I think we should try to fill out the deck first. Now we got to think of what we can put in place of some of these things. Now, Power Mace. Let's look up Power Mace. Give a random friendly mech +2/+2. There's really no substitute for something like this. So that might be a good one to craft. Azure Drakes can be replaced somewhat with either a spell damage creature or a card draw, depending on what the deck needs. Lava Burst is just a big boom. And we could replace this with something else a little cheaper for the time being. Even to put in elementals that kind of have this similar effect once they get summoned. So I think bang for our buck wise, Power Mace is probably the best. Now we could either do these, which cost 100 each, so we'll have 130 left over. We can do then 3 commons, I believe. And without Mech Warpers, this deck probably isn't gonna even start working. That being said, we're going to have to substitute in a lot of non-mech cards until we start to build up some dust to do that. So maybe Mech Warper not the best thing. Another piloted Shredder would be definitely a good one. And potentially another Annoyatron. And maybe a Lightning Bolt or something like that. Crackle maybe. But I think, you know, since there's no replacing this, I think we start with these. Maybe we'll do 1 Power Mace, and let's see, what else should we do? Maybe 1 Lava Burst. Okay, 130 left, which means we can do three commons, I believe. So let's do another Annoyatron. And we'll do another piloted Shredder. Watch the very next pack I opened. Both of these cards are going to be in it. And we have enough for 1 more. And I think, let's see, either between Lightning Bolt and Crackle. Lightning Bolt 3 versus Crackle 3/6, Overload 1. I think we'll do the Crackle. Okay. So, second Annoyatron, we've finished that off. We can do the second piloted Shredder. Crackle. One Power Mace. 1 Lava Burst. So we've got a bit of work left to do. How is the... Okay, let's go through card by card and see if we can find some at least comparable substitutes. Okay, so Whirling Zap-O-Matic is a 3/2 minion, I believe. Let's just see. With Wind Fury. No, we probably want to go... Let's see, was it a 3 cost? 2 cost. So we definitely need to keep on the cost curve. And let's see if we have anything comparable in Shaman to that. It doesn't look like we do. This could be good in the meta. Acidic Swamp Ooze. It's a 3/2 for 2. Destroying a weapon. And it's usually a fairly powerful effect against warriors, rogues, paladin. So that could be a fair substitute for the time being. Cogmaster is a 1-drop, and it has a buff that comes with mech, so there's really nothing that compares to something like that in the regular cards. I think we just go with Elven Archers for the time being. These guys can be surprisingly effective in a lot of ways. Mech Warper is a 2/3 that brings out your mechs faster, and again, there's no comparison in the basic cards for that. So I think the most comparable would be River Crocolisk as far as health is concerned. Annoyatrons we have. The next one would be Spider Tanks, and we don't have anything comparable to that really. 3/4 that synergizes with mech, And nothing quite there. It is a 3-drop, so we can look in our 3-drops to see what we have. I like the Shattered Sun Cleric in any deck. It's got a nice buff to it, so I think we'll go with that. Tinkertown Technician, 4-drop, typically a 4/4 when it synergizes with Mech. We don't have anything quite like that. I think since we're not going to be getting the Azure Drakes in, I think Gnomish Inventor would be a fair enough 4-drop for this. We need a replacement for Lotheb. And Lotheb is a creature that has an ability that, again, isn't found in any other one. I think what we do in this case is we get something beefy. Replace Lotheb with something beefy that have immediate board impact as far as, you know, it needs to be removed or whatever. So I think maybe we'll go with 1 Frostwolf Warlord in that respect. We have next the Azure Drakes, which are a 5 cost, and they draw a card and give you spell power. Nothing super comparable to that, so we need to just kind of figure out something as far as curve is concerned. Either a 4-drop or a 5-drop. What should we put in? Shieldmaster. Yeah, we could do that. Go with Shieldmasters. Lightning Bolt. We don't have any lightning bolts. And what else do we have in Shaman that would be somewhat comparable? Forked Lightning might be okay. Could put one of those in. And let's say Feral Spirit maybe. That's not even close to comparable, but let's try it anyway. Rockbiter Weapon we've got in already. There was 1 Crackle, but there's supposed to be a second. I think we have a few Overload cards in, so Unbound Elemental would be a fair substitute in there. Lava Burst we don't have, but we're going to substitute in Fire Elementals for those. We need to substitute in for 1 Power Mace and 1 Doomhammer. We don't have any other weapons to use, unfortunately, so we just pick what we want. We can go with a neutral minion. Power Mace is a 3-drop, I believe. Where is it in here? Yes, 3-drop, so we could pick another 3-drop. You know what? We might put a Bloodlust in here. Let's take out, which we take out 1 Senjin, and we'll put both Bloodlusts in. I like Bloodlusts in kind of a low power deck because they give you an immediate burst. So that's going to be our deck, I think, for the time being. We'll make some adjustments as we go along, depending on how we fare. But, you know, overall, I mean, this is a very basic deck. We've only got a few of our cards toward our ultimate goal, but it'll work just fine. Let's call this FTP Shaman. Wow, so creative. Shamana. FTP Shamana. There we go. FTP Shaman. Let's queue up. We are at the Angry Chicken rank. I haven't played a single game in ranked on this just yet.
Throw versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
For Doomhammer.
A little bit high on the curve here. We have the mech to give the Power Mace its Death Rattle benefit, but it is a little high in the curve. So I wonder if we don't try to get an Annoyatron instead. Let's mulligan that. A little bit lower in the curve, which is fine. I hoped it would draw into an Annoyatron here right away. Now I wonder if I'm going to encounter new players at these ranks. I'm not sure what the cards are going to look like. Well, that says to me that yes, this is a new player. The Battle of the Crocolisks this Friday.
I hope you like my invention.
Elements guide me.
Hoping to draw a mech here.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Give me a mech one time. Annoyatron, Shredder, darn it. Feral Spirit here instead, I think. Actually, Shieldmaster is probably the better play.
Tazingo.
I'm gonna save the Power Mace Death Rattle until I've got a mech on the board. I have to be careful of a Flame Strike upcoming. I don't know that we'll commit too much more to the board for now. Unless we get the mech, then we might. Gonna have to prep for the Flame Strike on turn 7.
Handle it.
Come on, give me a mech one time. A Neutron. Oh, yes. Okay, good.
Elements guide me. Don't mess with Tusker.
Face is the right play there, I'm positive.
Behold the might of Stormwind.
I got punished for it a little bit, but not too much. What do I got? 15 on the board. Can Lava Burst hit the face? Yes, it can. I will do this instead. That was pretty good. I think that was a pretty good game. The deck felt just fine. It is kind of surprising even still that you're finding new players. I guess, you know, most people that play season to season will have probably had enough stars to get into rank 20 the beginning of the season anyway. So, you know, probably 25 to 24 or 22. Probably going to find new players all over the place. Pretty aggressive start here aside from the Fire Elemental. So we'll chuck him back and see if we can get a Power Mace. Give me a Power Mace. We could draw into a Power Mace. That'd be fantastic right now. It's kind of amazing, you know, I've taken for granted over time, and my card collection in my main account isn't even that good, but I've got all the basics, you know, I can make 80% of the decks out there now, and I take for granted, I guess, that, you know, these cards, like, if you're a free-to-play player, you're not, you're really fighting an uphill battle, I think, to get a good card collection if you're not going to drop some money. And even myself, I think I've only dropped maybe 50 bucks on the game since it came out. So I haven't really spent a whole lot. A guy I work with has spent probably a couple $100, I would imagine. When you think about the ratio of getting a legendary card per pack, I believe your chances are about 1 in 20. And so you got to think you're opening a lot of packs to get that legendary. Let's see here. Yeah, that's okay with me. I think I like that play.
I'll give it a shot.
It's pretty aggressive. We could have done the Annoyatron otherwise. I kind of want to save him for when I get a Power Mace up, and I won't drop him until it's ready to break. Do we Lava Burst here? I'm not sure we do. We're going to overload ourselves by 2. We could Rock Biter and put this guy in. And that would leave us enough for a Neutron play. Totem. No, we just Rock Biter this guy, I guess. Okay, Annoyatron. No, we didn't have enough for Totem. Jesus, I can't count apparently.
Someone call.
Yeah, I'll lava burst that guy, I think. Suppose I could... What? Oh, he's giving it taunt. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just lava burst that. And then I'll put my... What do we got here? 5. Yeah, I guess totem. Let's totem first, see what we get. Whatever.
Give it a shot.
Play another minion because I want to use Fork Lightning. Wow. Okay.
Tazingo!
I want to draw into a Power Mace right now.
Ready for action!
Okay, we can use Fork Lightning next turn, which is good, because I believe... Is that right? You're gonna go twice on the Annoyatron, are you? Nope. Wow. Well, no, I'm really happy to use Fork Lightning. Blowout. Oh, I gotta knock that down. Oh, I can't knock it down. Oh, I really don't want this to... actually, I can do something about this. It's fine. No, I can't even. Darn it. Darn it, darn it, darn it, darn it. No, I can. I can do something. I think that this guy's basically using the beginner deck with the basic cards in it. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's not a very good deck. Oh, he's got a Crackle. Oh my goodness. What a waste of a perfectly good Bloodlust.
That was a mistake.
Sorry about that, buddy.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, let me draw my Bloodlust and end this.
I wonder.
Well, we could do up to 7 on this, and I think we got, what, 2, 5, 8 damage? Okay, he's done. So far, so good, right? We've fulfilled rank 25. I think since we did the deck building in this one, I think I'm going to call it at this point, guys. We did fairly good so far. I'm looking forward to the next time we play. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.